Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much for coming back if you've been here before. So today I want to do a love pick a card reading. It's going to be your past life with your future spouse, with your soulmate. So what was that past life like? Who were you in that past life? Who were they in that past life? Who were you both together? What was your energy together? We're also going to be looking at your life in that past life, what was happening for both of you together as a couple. Were you married? Were you not? What happened exactly? And then we're also going to take a look at messages from their higher self to you. And finally, we're going to take a look at what is going on in this current lifetime. You know, what's the energy in this current lifetime for both of you? So this is going to be probably a little bit on the longer side, but it's something that came to me and it's something that I want to do. It should be a fun reading. So as a reminder, it is going to be a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. I also have 3 piles today. So we have pile number 1 is going to be this yellow and gold, these yellow flowers with gold wax. And all of them say the same thing, which is with love. These messages are being sent to you with love. Then we have pile number 2 with the white and cream colored little flowers there. And then we have pile number 3 with the pinkish flowers and the pink wax seal. So take a few minutes to ground, center yourself, ask yourself which pile has a message for you. And let's jump right in. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you chose the little black envelope with the gold wax seal and yellow little flowers there. I'm going to try to stand that up right there. So we are going to be looking at your past life with your future spouse, with your soulmate. And basically we are going to be looking at your personality, their personality, and your energy together. Then we're going to look at what was this past life like. And we'll kind of close it out by looking at blessings this connection is going to bring in and your current life, present life situation. So let's take a look. So I picked 2 cards to represent one person, 2 cards to represent the other person, one of these to represent your energy together. As a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Let's start with person number 1 here. So first we have 9th house, faith. And then we have artists with the light attributes expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Shadow attributes using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. We're going to put those right there. Then let's take a look at these 2. And we have 11th house, friends. And this is representing person number 2 with femme fatale, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Shadow attributes, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Very interesting. Okay, so we are going to take a look at these 2. We're going to talk about who these 2 people are. Then we'll take a look at this card. So let's talk about the 9th house faith artist person. This is someone who, and we're talking about the past life energies, but this may relate to present life. So some of this should relate to you in your present life if this reading is for you. Keep that in mind. So my person on the left here, the artist 9th house faith person. This is someone who is very creative, very artistic. I get a lot of Pisces energy for this pile, a lot of Sagittarius energy as well with the 9th house there represented, Jupiter energy with the 9th house, but also Pisces is what I'm getting strongly. It could be any of the water signs, so Pisces, why can't I think of the water signs? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, there you go. It could be any of those energies. And this was someone who was very artistic and very sensitive to the world around them. This person was very likely a mystic. I do get that this person in this past life could have been very spiritual, either someone who identified as a witch, maybe pagan. I don't feel religion here very strongly. And this was someone who really led with their heart, with their emotional body. For some here, this could have been someone who worked as an actual artist. I am getting drawing, painting, writing for some. If this is representing you, you do have some of those talents in this present life because that was carried over. Some of my ninth house artist people were mediums or psychics in some way, intuitives in some way. And this was someone that was very much connected to spirit, very much connected to the things that couldn't be seen through the naked eye. This was someone who was very optimistic. And this is someone who has, who has a very rich internal world, a lot of imagination for my artist ninth house person. For this person, though, it was quite hard to be in the world that they were in, because I do feel that this person kind of struggled when it came to being in the world. Because again, they were so sensitive. This is someone who's very sensitive, someone who is very creative. And it feels like there was pressure around this person here for them to act a certain way, for them to be a certain way. I'm going to be honest, for many, this was the feminine energy. This was the person embodying the feminine. For many, it was someone who was incarnated as a woman in a past life. You could still be incarnated as a woman in this current life, take it as it resonates, but this is definitely feminine energy, very receptive energy. For some, numerology and astrology, for my ninth house artist person, it was something that this person was very almost naturally gifted at. For some, this person took on the role of the wise woman. It could have been wise man, wise woman, kind of the sage. A strong connection to the moon for this artist ninth house person, to the moon energy. This is someone who probably was so connected to the lunar cycles that depending on the time of the month, they were either energized or completely depleted of energy. There's almost a connection to the moon cycles here. And if this is representing you in this current lifetime, I do feel that connection is still very strong within you. I do believe for some of you, you were able to sell your artistic creations, but I feel for some of you, you had to sell it under an anonymous name because you weren't allowed to. And I think somebody profited off of you. Like, it just feels like for some of you, even if you were able to get your art, your creations out there, someone else took credit and they were giving you like pennies on the dime of what you deserved. Very romantic for this person here. This is also someone who was trying to expand, trying to grow. I'm gonna be honest. I feel this was in a very small, like this was a community that was smaller, and there wasn't much hope for going outside of this community, for traveling, for expanding. And my artist ninth house person really enjoyed learning, but that was not something that you were able to do. This is some introverted energy here. All right, so let's talk about this 11th house friends and femme fatale person. I do feel this was the one person this was the divine masculine. Regardless of gender, this was the person that was in touch with the divine masculine. This is someone who's very outgoing. In this past life, this person was very outgoing. I'm not going to lie, there was kind of a player energy to this person. Someone who was really kind of doing what they wanted to do, getting out there, playing the field, if you will. I don't think this person necessarily wanted to settle down. I do think society required that they settle down. This was someone who possibly spent a lot of time in female company, especially when it came to kind of like almost a brothel is what I'm getting. I do feel this person came from a family that they were well known and they were comfortable. If they were not wealthy, they were at the very least comfortable. So this was someone who was able to kind of live life in a way that was, because I don't want to say that they were not responsible, because I think that they definitely were. But I also feel that, especially in the younger years, they kind of had a period of just being out there and having fun and kind of almost a little bit of a selfish energy. Society as a whole and their friendships were very important. This person was part of some very important groups. This was someone who was very good at manifesting wealth, money. Like I said, even if they were not rich or wealthy, they were definitely comfortable. And I think some of that was passed on by family. This is someone who really enjoyed the finer things in life. There was definitely an attachment to money, a focus on money. I do feel this person was able to grow throughout their life. 35 was a very important age for this person. But I feel until the Saturn return, this was someone who was very much in that player energy, in that kind of looking out for self, having fun, enjoying life, and also focusing on creating money, work, and how they were perceived in the world. For some of you in this current lifetime, this person is still focused on money, work, and attaining a certain level of recognition in society. For many of you, my viewer, you are the ninth house artist person. For some of you, you have not met this person yet. They haven't come into your life yet, and they're going to come in around 35. That's going to resonate. That's very specific. It's not going to resonate for everyone. It could be that you're going to be 33, they're going to be 35. Or you met them around that age, or around 35 is in this lifetime where they're also going to start to get their crap together, because it feels like they're still kind of in this energy of having fun, kind of working. This feels like someone who works very hard, but they play as hard as they work. Let's take a look at your energy together. Look at this, the vessel. So what this card is going to look at is when you came together, when you were together in this past life, what energy did you create as a couple, as a pair? What energetic print did you create once you connected? So the vessel here, the vessel is very creative, right? Because when we think of a vessel holds something, but it also allows something to grow. If we were to think about, the creation of a baby, when we think about that, we are thinking about, the vessel where that child is going to be able to grow and expand and get ready, right? So it's a container, if you will. There was a lot of strength and stability between the both of you, because what happened here is, in this past life, you had what they didn't have and they had what you didn't have. So together you kind of created a brand new vessel, a brand new connection. Because this was, the intuitive sensitive. And this is someone who was a little bit more cutthroat and more focused on the material world. I do feel, and we're going to kind of take a look at this, what comes up here, but I feel like this was a connection that was set up. I don't necessarily think it was a love match at first. I think it was something that came together out of necessity, out of kind of families coming together and deciding. But together, there's almost a sense of stability. a sense of being able to grow anything. It's a very powerful energy together. It's almost like a power couple energy once it comes together. Because the vessel can hold liquid, fire, organs. It can hold anything. It can hold any of the elements. So the vessel is quite powerful in what it can create and what it can put out into the world. And it's held together. So there's almost an energy of, I don't necessarily think this came together as a love match, but I think that there was almost a falling in love and a connection that was unbreakable. And it feels like there was a promise to come back together. This is almost like the red string of fate, where, two people have that red string and they find each other no matter what. That sense of, we're going to connect no matter what. Sacral and solar plexus chakra is very important here. There was a lot that you were able to create together. There was a legacy that was left behind. I think you softened this person up, and this person ended up kind of showing you some boundaries and giving you some self-confidence. Let's take a look at the energy from this past life. Let's take a look at these tarot cards with the energy from this past life. So we have here the Temperance card. What did I say? We have the vessel, and now we have Temperance, which is blending something together, blending two separate things and blending them together, allowing them to come together. Two completely different energies blending together and becoming one. There's a deep soul connection here. The Sun. Look at this. And I shuffled these. For a good while. And then the Lord of Coins. Yeah, the Lord of Coins is representing your person. Whether they are masculine, feminine in this current lifetime, it represents them. It's someone who's very focused, someone who is very much able to create the things that they want to create. This is someone who works a lot. And I do feel that they do have this energy that they do have to mature into this. And I feel like that carried over in this lifetime. But in this past life, it was both people coming together to create some perfect balance, perfect harmony, if you will. There was a lot of happiness in this connection. But I do think your person ended up working a lot. They worked a lot in this past life, and that's what kept them away. But overall, you were both able to blend perfectly together. And there was a lot of happiness here. For some of you, you had 2 children. I'm picking up 2 sons for most of you. It could have been a girl and a boy. Could have been a girl. Could have been no kids. But I am picking up kids for most of you watching this pile. And it does feel like 2 sons. I'm hearing John. That's a very... John and David. I don't know if that resonates with anyone, but that's kind of coming in. Angus as well. But there was a lot of harmony and happiness in this connection. Because I do think whoever this femme fatale and 11th house person was, they were resistant to coming together. But again, it was kind of expectations. It feels like this was when you having to get together with someone was expected. And there was a love match here. It didn't start as a love match, because I feel that this was arranged, but there definitely was a love match, and there was a lot of happiness. I do feel you both grew to an old age. Like, I'm hearing late 50s to early 60s. I do think at that time that was old age. You got along quite well because you were both very intelligent, but you also had very different point of views on things, different perspectives. Let's take a look at, I pulled some past life cards. Let's take a look at what else comes up. Father, somebody, yeah, there were definitely children here. For some of you, when you come together with this person, there will be children in this lifetime as well. You could already have children with them if you know them. Food and hunger. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Spouse. Absolutely. Forgiveness. Yeah. So I feel like one of you, and I'm leaning towards this person right here, life was a bit of a struggle. I don't necessarily want to say there was a point of going hungry, but this was a very modest and humble life before you came in contact with this person. Now, I do feel this was arranged, and I feel that this was arranged by someone's father, and I do believe it was this person's father. I think this person here, you didn't have money, and it was, again, very humble, but there was something about the family connections that made this possible. There was also something about your demeanor that was kind of put together with this person, and they thought that it would be good to kind of set this, arrange this marriage. With forgiveness, I do think there is a need for self-forgiveness when it comes to the femme fatale and 11th house person, because I feel like at first they were not very nice to you in this past life. In this lifetime, I do feel they've done some things that they're not so proud of, like looking back, and I think that's true for many of us. You know, we do things when we're younger. I do think there's some things about how they've handled certain relationships, the connections, that there's some regret there in this current lifetime. But this was definitely the person that, this was definitely your spouse in the past life, and this is definitely coming in as who you're probably, I mean, we all have free will, but a very good chance of who you will marry in this current lifetime. Take a look at messages of love. I want to see what we have here. Release, radical acceptance, and surrender can help you let go. For some of you, this is about releasing expectations. Some of you are growing impatient about connections and about not meeting this person yet. I don't think for many of you, you've met this person, and if you have, I don't think you're together. Trust. It is safe for you to trust in this situation. Now, in this past life, some of you did not, many of you didn't trust this person because this person came across as someone who wasn't trustworthy, and you were very sensitive, and I think that's why forgiveness is here as well. And I keep saying you because I do feel my viewer is on this side. You could be on this side. But I feel like this person was kind of almost bold when they spoke, and very not as gentle as my Argus person required. And I do think that that's why forgiveness is here as well, because there was a forgiving of one another. Especially, I think, my Argus person towards this femme fatale person in this past life. And the forgiveness also had to do because this person focused a lot on things outside of the home, even though there was a lot of happiness, and I do get that. I mean, we have the sun in temperance, but there was also kind of times where this person was not there to be a father. This person was not there to be a spouse, at least not in the way that you would have wanted them to. Balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. And in this lifetime, it's going to be about balance. Creating more balance. I do think this past life was a happy one, but I do think in this current lifetime, there's going to be an opportunity to create more balance where this one person, whoever this is on this side, is going to have the opportunity to be around more. Acceptance. Everything happens for a reason. There was a sense of fate to this as well. I really do get that. Like, this came together as it had to, and I do think there was resistance from my Argus person when it came to having to get married or having to connect with this person and be with this person. But I don't think there was as many options. It felt like this is what you have to do. Oh my God. That's crazy. Fate. This is a destined partnership. I think this is fated to come back together again. It feels like for both of you at soul level, higher self level, there were things that weren't completed. in the way that you connected. It was almost like both souls agreed to come back together to kind of almost correct some things, because if it did feel like this person on this side was kind of absent more than what both people wanted them to be. And this is kind of coming back together to create, to give it a second chance. Let's take a look at what we have. Healing, self-care, time out, be gentle with yourself and your twin. For many of you, this is coming back together to heal some of the wounds of this past life. And I think this person is going to have the opportunity to make relationships more of a priority. Spring, your love is blooming. Your answers arrive in spring. If you haven't met this person, you could meet them in spring. I do believe in the past life you got married in spring. I don't feel it was a big wedding. I'm kind of getting like 40, 50. Now, mind you, this was probably way back when, so that probably was a big one. Release, loosen your hold, relax, unwind, release fear, anxiety, and doubt. This is the second time we have release. Pile number 1, stop trying to figure out how this is going to happen, how it can happen. Accept where you are at. For some of you, you are so connected with that vessel. You are so connected to this person. You probably dream of them. You know they exist. Even if you haven't met them, you know that there is a destined partnership for you, and you're starting to doubt yourself. Have trust and faith in yourself and in the universe. Let's take a look at what we have with these. We have God of Protection, Anubis, and this is something that's definitely protected. Balance again. All right. Pile number 1, we have release twice, and now we have balance twice. This is coming in, what did I say? There's kind of some healing to do. There's some balancing to do. You are going to be able to balance the karma here. You're going to be able to balance the connection. Kuan Yin with Goddess of Nurturing. Both of you are going to be very nurturing. I feel this person, whoever this person on the right was, they're going to have an opportunity to nurture relationships more. I don't feel that they were given that opportunity in this past life. And I think that that's some of what they regret at a higher self level. And that's why this is kind of destined to come back together. And then we have, I am not going to try the name, but God of Awakening. This is going to trigger a spiritual awakening for both of you. And I do feel both people are going to have to go through some awakenings before coming back together. You could have already met this person. If you did, I don't feel that for many of you, I don't think you're together. These are going to be messages from their higher self to you. You came closer than anyone else, and I feel this is coming from a past life perspective. I do think you got very close to them. I do think they were very happy, but I also think they had a lot of responsibilities. I feel that this person was running their family estate. Like, this feels like someone who had a lot to handle, a lot to do. And there was also kind of this self-protection around them. I knew exactly what I was doing. If you know this person in your current lifetime, they're trying to keep you away. And they know what they're doing, and they know who you are. As far as the past life, they were aware. I think towards the beginning, it wasn't as sweet and nice, because I feel like they were purposely keeping you away. And that's why the forgiveness is there. And that's why they kind of want a second chance of doing it differently. You and I were too young. For some of you, you have met this person and you were young when you met. For others of you, perhaps I don't get that this came together when you were super young. It could have come together when you were young and they were so busy out there playing the field that they paid you no attention. And that's maybe around 33, 35 is when they finally decided to come home and check in with who they have. Take that as it resonates. I don't feel that's going to be the case in this current lifetime. I want to feel that way again. If you know this person, they're trying to come back together. For many of you, what this person wants to feel is what they felt in the past life with that sun card there. That happiness, that joy, that satisfaction. And I think in this lifetime, they are seeking that, and they don't know why they're seeking that. I don't think they're as awake as my viewer, because I do feel that the other person is here. Let's take a look at what's happening in your current life when it comes to this connection. Queen of Swords. Magician. Some of you are trying to manifest this now. Three of Wands. Okay. If you know this person, there's going to be two messages here. If you know who this is and you're like, I know who this is, I am absolutely sure who this is, trust me, I know. If that's the case, if that's you, you are trying to manifest this back. This person walked away because they kind of wanted to explore options. They also may have wanted to focus on something such as job, career, money. There's also some fear from that person about connecting, and they kind of push you away. And it could be that they felt that you were too young when you met, but they recognize the importance of the connection, and they're kind of icing you out at this time. If you know this person, they are definitely icing you out at this time. They're kind of, even if they're responding, they're being very cold about it. They're being very distant about it. If you don't know who this person is, you are trying to manifest this. And in order to manifest this, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to hold the vision, expect it to come in. For some of you, you've been doing the manifesting work and it's coming in, but you need to give it a little bit more time because this person is not quite ready yet. And sometimes we can do everything that we can, and it doesn't mean that it's going to speed things up, because we have to allow the other person, especially when there are other people involved, to get to where they need to be. And some of you, there's almost a little bit of a warning here. Don't become too cold and too self-defensive. Some of you are so hurt that you're kind of in this Queen of Swords energy. Some of you are reaching a point of, I don't need anyone. Don't reach that point, pile number one, because this person is coming in. It's just a matter of timing. Let's take a look at what we have with these three. Look deep within your heart and you may feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. What did I say? You're already connected. For many of you, you know who this is at soul level. Like, you probably have dreams about this person. There's almost an inner knowing of who this is and that they're coming and that you will connect. And you can feel this person's love. Again, that vessel. Because together you created your own little vessel. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. Pile number one, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong thing to do or try or not do. Some of you are trying to make sure that you are dating correctly or that you are putting yourself out there correctly so that the right person can come in. There's no right or wrong. This is going to come together. This person is going to come into your life. At the very least, you'll meet this person. Romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. This is going to be very romantic in this lifetime. And I feel like it was romantic at one point in the past life. I feel like it did take a little bit to get off the ground. But Cupid's arrow strikes, this is coming in sooner than you think if you don't know this person. Even if you do, they may be coming around sooner than what you realize. Because they're probably going through an awakening. Let's take a look at the blessings that this is going to bring in this lifetime. A blessing on a battle that cannot be avoided. Ooh, some of you, look at that. 9 plus 2, 11. 11, 11. Some of you, this could be a twin flame or a divine counterpart. But for some of you, this is kind of the lifetime where you're going to be able to do this the right way, the way that you both wanted to. And there is a clearing of karma, a balancing of karma. But you need to release the how, the who, the when, and where. And a blessing on your creativity. I love that because one of my people was an artist. This is definitely going to kind of make you tap into your creativity more as you connect to this person. Also, if you wanted to connect to this person through your creativity, you can do that right now because I feel that you are very creative for my viewer. for most of my viewers. Some of you could be on this side. But both people were creative to a certain extent. But there's definitely this energy of this is going to boost your creativity and your ability to connect to self and to spirit. All right, pile number 1, that is all I have for you. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you'd like to see next. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, that information is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to these cream little flowers and this white wax. It's like a shimmery white. So we're going to be taking a look at a few things today. We're going to be taking a look at your person's energy. So person number 1, person number 2, your energy together. Then we're going to take a look at what was this past life like? What was it like for both people involved? We're also going to take a look at what's going on in this current lifetime, get some messages from this person to you from their higher self. As a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. So first we have trickster with light attributes, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Shadow attribute, manipulating others through duplicity. And we have Pluto transformation. Very interesting. This is very Scorpio energy here. A lot of Scorpio energy. Then we have, for person number 2, the bully. Light attributes, highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Shadow attribute, conceals deep fear behind verbal or physical abuse. No one gets scared just yet. This does not mean your person is or was a bully. And Saturn return age. Very interesting. So let's take a look at, and then we'll take a look at your energy together. But let's start with person number 1, which is my Pluto transformation trickster person. So for this person, again, Scorpio energy very heavy here. This could be water sign energy as well. I'm also getting Gemini energy from this person, whoever this is representing. It could be you or it could be your person, or this could be you or this could be your person. If neither one of these sound like you, even if it doesn't sound familiar to you to your current life, this is probably not the reading for you. But in this past life, this person here, this Pluto trickster person, was someone who was always changing, expanding in some way. This was someone who didn't enjoy having too many routines. This is someone that was always trying to switch things up. There was constant growth here. This was someone who was also very much in tune with the cycles of life and death with Pluto here. In tune with the idea that things are always changing. This person served as a mirror to other people in this past life. This is also someone who was very good with words and very good at reading other people, especially other people outside of their circle. Like, this is someone who could have met a complete stranger and they would have known how to read that person quite well. For some, this was somebody who gambled. I am getting that. Someone who did kind of gamble, and perhaps they made some good amount of money gambling in this past life. My Pluto trickster person was always a forward thinker. Aquarius energy coming in very strong here as well, because this person was always ahead of the game. This person was ahead of their time. They kind of had the ideas that were yet to be thought of in the time frame where they were living. They came up with ideas that were unconventional and outside of the norm, and this was not always received well by other people. This was someone that was able to get their way. And we do have manipulation here. I do believe this was someone who knew how to manipulate not only people, but circumstances. And I don't think that it was something that was done often, but I do think it's something that this person could do if they needed to do it. With Pluto transformation here, this was someone who also was very much into spirituality, very much into philosophy, possibly a mystic. There was definitely a need for understanding, for expansion of understanding. So let's talk about who this person here, the bully Saturn return age. This second person here, I feel that this was someone that stood up for the underdog. This was someone who could not walk away if they saw injustice. But this was also someone who came across as very strong. The divine masculine very much active in this person. They could come across as a bit almost too bold, too strong at times. So they could have been intimidating to the people around them. But this was someone who was actually looking out for other people. This was someone who was out there trying to empower other people to step into their power. I do believe this was someone who financially was comfortable and was able to spend money and time, energy helping others that were less fortunate. This is someone that was very tall. I am getting that. I'm getting a very tall person. And this person was very mysterious in the sense that you couldn't always read their thoughts. This bully Saturn return person was also very mature. They reached a level of maturity in their lifetime. And I feel that both of these people definitely had some things in common, because both of these people were trying to achieve change and growth for this world as a whole, for humanity as a whole. I do feel the Pluto trickster person, their energy was a little lighter than this bully Saturn return person. The Saturn return bully person, this person on the right, this was someone who was at some point in their life bullied. And this is someone that had to go through a lot of growth and had to face a lot of fears to get to that sense of security. But this is someone who left a legacy behind. And I think both of these people did in their own ways. The Saturn return bully person learned a lot about communication from this trickster Pluto person. And this trickster Pluto person learned a lot about responsibility and, how to set foundations from this Saturn return bully person. Let's take a look at the energies together. So together they had the combined energy of the forest. Again, a lot of depth. The forest, when we think of the forest, we think of, kind of going deep into Mother Nature. The woods, the jungle, the forest. But there's also magic, right? Because when we think of a forest, when I think of a forest at least, I think of fairies. I think of magical beings. I think of possibility, childhood. And together, there was a sense of magic that these two people cultivated. And there was a sense of adventure too. And I think for both of these individuals, the adventure was mainly mental pursuits. I do believe these were two very intelligent people coming together, and it was very hard to find someone on their intellectual level, and they found each other. This does feel like it was a love match. And I do feel that it's very possible that this was a connection that started in childhood, because childhood keeps coming up very strongly for me. And that both were given the opportunity to face fears. And there was a sense of finding, I'm almost getting a sense of both can find their way back to one another. And that's probably why you are reconnecting in this lifetime. Because you're meant to find your way back to one another. There's a lot of banter here. A lot of dry, sarcastic humor as well is what I'm getting. Let's take a look at this past life connection. What was this relationship like in a past life? We have the 9 of Teacups or the 9 of Cups. This was a dream come true. This was a wish granted. I really do feel this started in childhood. We have the 8 of Teacups. And we have death. Very interesting. Pluto with transformation, which is Scorpio energy, right? Now we have death, Scorpio energy again. With death here, I feel this came together. There was a loss for one or both of you. I do feel the loss was this trickster Pluto person. I feel there was a loss of a parent, of a father, more specifically, early on in life. And this was the person that you spent time with, that you were able to kind of rely on. There was a sense of this is someone that you grew up with. And even though you were from the opposite sex, there was also that sense of this is my friend. We grew up together. So since we were together, since we were really young, we were allowed to be together a lot. But there was a sense that this connection was definitely a wish come true for both parties involved. One of you, I am getting this strongly with this 8 of Teacups. For some of you, one of you had to move away, had to leave family behind. And there was also a loss of someone very important. I do keep getting a father. It could have been a mother, but in this past life, there was definitely a loss of someone very important early on in life. And that also kind of left a big mark on this person's life. And I think a lot of my viewers are going to be the trickster Pluto person. Some could definitely be the Saturn return bully person, but I feel most of my viewers are going to be on the left. And most of the viewers were the ones that suffered the immense loss. And that kind of left you feeling in this past life like you were alone. And this was someone that you can count on. For many of you, this bully Saturn return age person was older, slightly older, because I do feel you grew up together, but I feel like they were slightly older. I'm getting 2 to 3 years older. Let's take a look at what we have with the past life oracle. Unrequited love. Galactic. Trying to figure out where to put these. Or, yes. Okay, that's what I was getting. It's almost like somebody was left behind by a parent. I feel like it was the father. And that left you kind of alone in the world. Maybe the moving away was because you had to go and stay with relatives, and that kind of separated things, and you had to come back together at a later time. But I do feel this is someone that you grew up with, and this was a dream come true. This was a wish granted. High priest or priestess. Yeah, this is a spiritual pile. I definitely feel both people were spiritual, especially my Pluto person, my Pluto trickster person. And this person was able to read people quite well. With unrequited love, I do feel a separation here. And galactic, it was almost like this separation felt so big. Some of you with galactic here could also feel like you are not from this world. Some of you may identify as starseeds. Some of you may feel alone, abandoned in this world, even now in this current lifetime. But in this past lifetime, there was a point of feeling alone because you lost someone. I typically never read the death card as an actual death, but in this situation, it's coming in very heavily as the loss of someone and having to leave something behind. And I think you had to leave this person behind. And it felt like unrequited love for a while, and then it came back together. And we do have Saturn return here, so this may have come together around the Saturn return age. Like between 28, 29 to like 30, 31. Let's take a look at messages. If I can grab these cards. Stability. This relationship can stand the test of time. I do feel like this was a very stable relationship in a past life once it came together. Finances. Financial challenges are affecting this connection. Finances were very important in this connection. Because I do feel that my person on the left here, whoever this is representing, was almost left out in the cold. Because it's almost like the loss of a family member, and I keep getting a father. And that kind of left my person here on the left all out alone and kind of having to be at the mercy of family members. For some, it was an aunt. For others, you were taken in. And I'm saying you because I do think this person on the left is my viewer. You were taken in by a different family. In this lifetime, it could be that you were adopted. Or it could even be that you just feel with Galactic and Orphan in this lifetime, you may feel like an outsider. Like you don't truly fit in into your family. And when you meet this person, there's almost like this person is going to see you. This person is going to offer stability. Some of you have not had stability in this current lifetime. I get in the past life you didn't spend as much time as you wanted to together, and this is why it's having another opportunity. Unavailable. This person is unable to give all you deserve. For some of you, if you know who this is, they may not be able to fully commit at this time. I do feel with unavailable and unrequited love, there was an energy in this past life of sadness, almost depression, because this couldn't come together in the time frame that you wanted it to. It feels like for some of you, my bully Saturn return person was out of reach for a while. Wherever it was that you had to go to, this person was out of reach. You may already know them and they may be in a third party situation. There's almost a limitation to this, a blockage to this from coming together in this past life and in this current lifetime. It's almost like you're reworking through the same cycle. Let's take a look at what else we have. Play hard. Find time to laugh, goof off, and enjoy each other. In this connection, I feel that in this past life, for many of you, while you were with this person growing up, there was a lot of playtime, but I feel like they kind of grew up to be very serious. And in this lifetime, when you reconnect, there's going to be an opportunity to have more fun, to be more childlike. I do feel my person on the left was a high priestess. Could have been a high priest, but I'm getting priestess. I'm seeing a priestess energy. Boundaries. Firm boundaries are now needed. Pile number 2, where do you need to place boundaries? For some of you, if you know who this is and they're trying to play games, or they're kind of wishy-washy with their energy, with unavailable, how can you set boundaries? And how can you let them know what you want and give them the opportunity to stick around and offer it, or give them the opportunity to move forward with their life? But this connection is meant to teach you boundaries. Because in the past life, you almost got lost in one another with the forest. And this is saying in this lifetime, how can you have boundaries in place? And this is also, even if you don't know who this is, in this current lifetime, make sure you put boundaries in place with people that are not able to give you what you want, desire, or deserve. Isis, goddess of magic. Yeah, we have a lot of spiritual people watching this pile. For many of you, you practice magic. You could be a high priest, high priestess. You could be very spiritual. You could be into the occult, into astrology, numerology, tarot, esoteric knowledge. Some of you are very much attracted to Egyptian magic. Egyptian lore. Mary Magdalene, goddess of strength. And Kali, goddess of destruction. This is a very powerful pile when it comes to spirituality. There is a need to constantly transform yourself. It's almost like for my viewer, you are always being called to transform yourself, to grow, to expand your understanding. For many of you, you enjoy learning. And this connection. For some of you, with Goddess of Destruction, Unavailable, and Boundaries, some of you know who this is. And this had to break up in order to come back together. In order for you to get clear about your boundaries. In order for you to get clear about what it is that you deserve and ask for it and not take anything else in its place. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want and what you deserve, pile number 2. And I do feel like a good amount of you know who this person is. Like you're watching this and you already know who this is. Oop, I forgot one of these. Fear. Yeah. There was some fear here, especially in this past life. Because with this orphan card, in this past life, there was this energy of being left alone. And there is a fear of abandonment. And I think that that translated to this lifetime in some way. Some of you could literally have lost a parent in this lifetime. And that fear is kind of carrying through. And that fear also has kind of stood in place of allowing you to allow other people to treat you in a way that you know you don't deserve. Because you don't want to lose anyone. You don't want anyone to leave you or walk away from you. Fall, changes in the air. Your answers arrive in autumn. And we are just going into the fall season as I'm recording this, even though this is timeless. For some of you, if you know who this is, it could be that there's more clarity coming in fall. Allow this person, if you know who they are, and you feel like it, right? Because you need to feel like it. And you feel like doing this, allow them to come back in and hold space for them to be someone else, to be transformed. If you don't know who this is, you could be meeting them in fall. And there's some sort of clarity coming in as far as past life, as well as clarity coming in as far as how you connect in relationships and belief systems that you have. For some of you, do a meditation or a past life regression and set the intention that it's going to be this past life. Okay, we have fear and fear. Darkness, hesitation, insecurity, know that you are protected. For some of you, there's a fear of being abandoned. There's a fear of ending up alone, and there's a fear also of really truly having to open up. And if you know this person, there's fear that's keeping this apart. Even if you don't know this person, there's fear that needs to be worked through in order to allow this to come together. Community, friendship, fun, a light heart, enjoy downtime with friends and family. For some of you, needing to connect with friends and family. I do feel in this past life, community was very important for both of you. There was definitely a community that you were a part of. And there was a sense of belonging through that community. If I can pick these cards. Okay, sorry, pile number 2. Let's take a look at what would their higher self say to you. I am so attracted to you. I think some of you do know this person. We will be together again. This could be their higher self. We will be together again. In this lifetime, there will be an opportunity for this to come back together. Some of you have dreamt of this person, or you can sense them in some way. I wish I could share my good news with you. Some of you absolutely know who this is. Some of you have a community in this current lifetime in common with this person. You may know some of the same people. I wish I could take back my words. I do think in a past life there were some moments where things got heated and both of you were very cutting with your words. If you know this person and something was said, that's them also saying, I wish I could take that back because I know that it hurt you and I know that it was out of line. Let's take a look at what's happening in this current lifetime with this connection because I need to know. Hierophant. Hierophant is all about belief systems. The stories we tell ourselves. And look at this, Egypt again. The Devil. Strength. 3 major arcana cards. Talk about major... This is an important part in your life with 3 major arcana cards. With the Devil, Strength, and Hierophant here, there is a sense of needing to transform certain belief systems. For some of you with Strength, it's time to have courage to face your fears, to face your inner demons, and to face certain ideas that you have, certain beliefs that you have. For some of you, the biggest belief that's keeping you from connecting with another and from bringing this person in, whether you already know them or you haven't met them, is that idea of abandonment, that fear of I'm going to get hurt, I'm going to be left behind. Some of you, again, in this past life, somebody passed away. I feel like it was a father figure. For some of you, you have had either a parent pass away very early on. You could have been adopted. You could have been, there was just major loss. And it feels like it goes back to childhood. Some of you could have literally grown up in the system. And it's left kind of this energy of, I want to connect, but it's also opened you up to the wrong type of people. And you've been through a little bit of unrequited love here. Because I don't necessarily feel this is from the past life connection. I do feel there was a separation, but I feel like this is more of perception. And perhaps, feeling unworthy. Let's take a look at what we have with these 3 cards. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. There's a lot about death in this pile. About crossing over, passing over, transformation, Scorpio energy, Pluto energy. For some of you, make sure that you're not focusing so much on the material that you can't appreciate or connect with others. Make sure that you are looking for your community, connecting to your community. Forgiveness, stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Some of you definitely know this person, and there's a need for forgiveness if you want to forgive them, right? And forgiveness is good because it sets you free. But as you forgive, you release yourself. And for some of you, it's about allowing someone from the past, someone that you know, and you would know at heart level, at soul level. And it's someone that you would want back, and allowing them to come in as a changed person. You can't want the person back, and every time they come in, you hold something against them that they did a very long time ago. Balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. And that's the energy of these 2 people. There was a lot of support, but there was also, this was someone that can challenge you, and this was someone that could, you could challenge one another. You grew through one another. Blessings coming in through this connection. Let's take a look. A blessing for peace of mind. I do feel that once you meet this person or once you are with this person, they almost feel soothing to you, to your soul, to your mind. A blessing to bring clarity. I do feel there is clarity coming in. For some of you, it's going to be November. I'm also hearing March, November or March. And then we finally have a blessing on a journey. Very interesting because your energy together is the forest. And that's kind of, all about adventure journey, right? Reconnecting to the child, to the inner child. For some of you, it's a journey back to one another. And this wasn't something that was perfect. I do think it was two very strong and opinionated people coming together to create something. But there was love here. I don't think one or both of you was able to feel that love, and I feel like it was my Pluto person here. Because there was a sense of, if I let myself get too close, is this person going to leave me, whether by choice or by destiny, right? Or, by nature. Because whatever the death was, it was very unexpected. All right, pile number 2, that is all I have for you. Let me know what you thought in the comments section. And if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, that information is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the pink flowers with the pink wax. And let's take a look. As a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. So we're going to be taking a look at both people involved. And we're going to take a look at your energy together. So this is going to be one person. This is going to be another person. And this is going to be your energy together. Now, if you don't necessarily see any parts of yourself here or here, this is probably not the reading for you. Because even though we're looking at past life energy, we typically carry some of that past life some of those past life personality traits to the current lifetime. Capricorn, I use prostitute. I was not expecting that. Accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Shadow attributes places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Very interesting combination here. A lot of earth energy here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, strongly represented here. The senses, right? The body. Then for person number 2, we have air element communicating. And we also have slave, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And set a shadow attribute, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Very strong energies in this one. All right, so pile number 3, we'll take a look at this in a minute. But let's get started. So I want to start with my Capricorn prostitute person, the person being the person on the left. So again, a lot of earth energy here because we have Capricorn and then we have prostitute, which is all about the body, right? All about financial security, money, all about the physical, the tangible, what we can touch, what we can feel. And almost a sense of survival. And with Capricorn, Capricorn is all about setting foundations, Saturn energy, responsibility, the things that need to be done. This was someone that was very responsible. This was someone that was very self-empowered. I'm going to be honest, there was a possibility that this person did have to work as a sex worker. And this person, I feel this person came from very humble beginnings. And for some, it was almost having to be forced into that situation. Now, not everyone that picked this pile and identifies as this person, not everyone had to do that sort of work, but there were some people here. Most importantly, this person was very much self-empowered. Even though this person didn't have much, even though my Capricorn person didn't have much, this was someone that was willing to do the work. And this was someone that learned what their worth was in the world. And there was a time where material considerations were made, where security kind of came, where security had to be attained, because I feel that whoever this was, they were responsible for other people. And I do think for a period of time, there was an energy of, I don't know how else to make things work. For some, it was, selling the body through pleasure. For others, it was selling the body and doing something such as, cleaning, cooking, because essentially at the end of the day, we're all selling our body in some way, right? When we're getting paid for work. But this person kind of grew into becoming comfortable with who they are. And this was someone who was very wise with the use of their resources. This was not someone who was making money and spending it all. I do feel my Capricorn person here learned how to make some crafts. For some of you, if you identify as this person, you probably carried this over in this lifetime where you are very crafty and handy. And you're probably also frugal, and or at the very least, you're very aware and careful with your money. Where you are aware of what it means to not have enough, of what it means to, even if in this lifetime you've had everything you've needed and you've been comfortable, there is an awareness for this person here of, I don't want to be without enough. I don't want to risk spending and using all my money. This was someone with very high integrity and a high sense of morals. Let's talk about our air element slave person. Because I feel that my air element slave person was very intellectual, but this was someone who was always seeking more, seeking answers, seeking truth. For some, this was someone, that was constantly looking into different belief systems. In this lifetime, if this represents you, you could be into religions, different spiritualities. You could know a lot about religion and spirituality. You are always seeking to understand. Always seeking to experience what it means. It's almost like this person is seeking salvation. Seeking to find the religion, the spirituality that clicks, the thing that makes them feel complete, the thing that makes them feel at ease. Because what this person lacks, what this air element slave person lacks, is inner peace, inner harmony. There's a lot of turmoil for this person, and that's why sometimes they're seeking peace through spirituality or religion. For some, not all. There's also a sense of my slave air element person was almost looking for something or someone to believe in, not necessarily even when it comes to religion or spirituality. This is someone that was seeking connection. My air element person is also very creative. But again, a lot of thoughts, a lot of mental energy. This could be an Aquarius. It could be any of the air signs, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but I feel Aquarius energy very heavy here. Seeking, looking for belonging, looking for understanding. This is someone that really struggled at one point with making decisions for themselves. Being afraid of choosing the wrong thing. That probably, some of that carried over into this lifetime, and it's something that they're working on. Whoever that is representing. So together, the energy that you have together is that of the mountain. So when you connected, when you came together, the energy was of the mountain. And what is the mountain? It's the peak, right? Because when we think of mountains, I always think of Mount Everest when I think of mountains. So together, there was a lot of groundedness. There was a sense of, I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I am grounded in my own body. Because I feel like this person here on the left was always working. They were kind of almost disconnected to their body. This is especially true if they were doing work. If prostitution was the type of work that they were doing. And this person here was also disconnected, but for completely different reasons. The disconnect here was more mental because their mind was so active. And together, it was an energy of being steadfast, being grounded, feeling like you belong in the world, feeling like you are uplifted, because what are mountains, right? They are going up, that upliftment. There was also a lot of awareness, because when we go up, when we ascend, we gain clarity. And together there was an element of clarity that was gained for both people involved. There was almost like aha moments that were attained together. And these were two people that were very much connected to Mother Earth, to Gaia. For some of you, you definitely still resonate with Gaia as a spirit, as a guide, or as a deity. And both people were able to inspire one another. Because there was a lot of isolation here before they connected. And I'm going to be honest, I feel like this was a very humble lifetime for both of you. I don't think money, I don't think things were always comfortable. Let's take a look at what this past life was like. We have the Devil, Six of Quills, yeah, and Nine of Quills. Yeah, this was not... I feel you both connected quite well together. I do feel there was a level of happiness at being together. But there were also a lot of concerns. A lot of things that plagued you. A lot of things that kept you up at night. And that was true for both of you. I feel that both people in this connection had either anxiety, depression, and I think that it came from just worldly concerns. I think it really came down to, do I have enough to provide for myself and my family? I do feel for this pile, there were 3 children. I'm getting 3 children. It can vary because there's many people watching, but I'm getting 3 children. For some, it was 3 girls. For others, it was 2 girls and a boy. And there was a sense of responsibility. Of, I need to make things happen. With the Six of Quills, I do feel someone had to travel for work. And I do feel they were gone for long periods of time. For some reason, I'm getting 6 months. It could be because it's the Six of Quills, but almost like they were gone for about 6 months. And they would come back, and one of you was left to kind of take care of the household. Again, it doesn't feel like things were easy. I do feel someone may have developed some sort of addiction. Could have been alcohol or gambling is what I'm getting. Let's take a look. And I'm getting that this is kind of the lifetime. It's almost like you're getting a chance for things to work out in an easier way. Knighthood. This could have taken place in England. Monk or nun. Authority figures. The arts. So let me tell you what I'm getting. With knighthood, I'm taking this as location. I'm taking, for a lot of you, this was kind of England, that sort of that area. With monk or nun, I do feel that this speaks to the fact that one, especially this air element slave person, was seeking a higher power. There was a sense of seeking salvation. There was a sense of seeking almost hope, optimism from outside of self, because it didn't always come from inside. And there was a sense of not being able to completely trust in self and kind of looking for that outside source. I do feel both people were very artistic. It could be that one person kind of joined some sort of military or some sort of navy, something where they had to leave and it was by boat. A ship, boat. There was something here. Like, I know that's what's being shown in the card, but I'm really getting that. That it was kind of a ship. I don't think it was, I'm not getting like a train, a locomotive, anything like that. I'm getting a ship. And this person was away for some good time, leaving. And I think the person that was left behind was my Capricorn person to kind of take care of everything. My Capricorn person was very artistic. But there was a sense of some blockages around creative blocks coming up. This was not an easy life. Let's take a look at what we have. Goddess of sensuality. Yeah, for some, I do think for some there was a period where that's the type of work that you did. I'm trying not to say it as much, not because I don't want to say it, but because YouTube is funny. Abandonment, yeah. I think someone had to, I don't think this person walked away full time. I think they had to leave for work because it was the only way that they could make some sort of money. I think to a certain degree both parties were kind of depending on something artistic, and it wasn't making enough money to take care of the family. I really feel like it was the Navy. Thor, god of action. Yeah. This person could have definitely joined like some sort of Navy, some sort of job where they had to be at sea. Grief and anger. With that 9 of quills and this grief and anger, there was definitely some grief and anger here. Some resentment towards this person because they had to leave. For some of you, if you are identifying as this Capricorn person, you also wanted to travel, but you couldn't do that. You had to stay behind. In this lifetime, there's gonna be a chance to kind of get it right, if you will. Loss of self and identity. Discover your true self again. Yeah, for some of you, you definitely lost your partner for a good majority of time, and there was a feeling of being abandoned by them. But I do feel they did it because it was necessary. But that really ended up hurting. And I think this Capricorn person eventually did get sick from it. Twin flames. Yeah. Look at this. Eternal love, reincarnation, passion, twin seeking union. For some of you, this is your twin flame. And this was a very rough past life. I'm not even gonna, I have to read it the way I see it. This was very rough. And it served to teach some very hard lessons that both of you had to learn. Control, stagnation, delusion, release the need to control situations. There was a sense of losing control. For some of you, because this was so out of your control in this past life, you're trying to have control in this current life. And Spirit is saying that's not how it works. You have to release it. You have to allow things to unfold the way that they want to unfold naturally. Kind of release the reins, because I'm kind of seeing like a grip. Children are important to this partnership. I really think there were 2 to 3 children involved. And for many of you, that's why this person had to kind of make the hard decision. If you are the air element person, I feel like you were the one that had to kind of go away for work. And it kept you away, and you came back and you weren't really, it wasn't the same. And if you are identifying as this Capricorn person, you were the one that were left behind, and it hurt. It truly hurt. For some of you, a lack of resentment towards circumstances, a lack of sadness. And it really ate at you. And a lack of grief. Friendship, and this is a strong foundation in friendship. For some of you, when you meet, or if you already met, it's going to start as a friendship. But this is a divine counterpart, a twin flame. Rejection, this rejection is actually divine protection. For some of you, if someone rejected you or something rejected you, just remember it's divine protection. But for others of you, what this rejection means is you felt rejected when this person had to leave. It really tore apart at the connection. Regret, yeah. There was a lot of regret here in this past life. I feel like there was a separation. Because it wasn't working anymore. I don't necessarily think there was a divorce, because I think whenever this took place, divorce wasn't necessarily something that happened, but it does feel like there was almost a separation. Like it wasn't the same. It was almost like two lives being lived apart without connecting, communicating with one another. Let's take a look at what would this person's higher self tell you. I regret lying to you. There's a lot of regret here. If you know this person in this current lifetime, there's something that they definitely regret. If you think they lied to you about something, this is kind of confirming that. If you know them in this current lifetime. In this past lifetime, I just think there was a lot of regret about how things played out. Finding out the truth crushed me. And I think this was the truth of, I think my Capricorn person, and I think most of my viewers are going to be the Capricorn person, I think there was almost a growing tired of this. And I think some of you just kind of walked away. Some of you could have started a new relationship. Even though you were still married, no judgment. There was almost a starting of a different connection, because there was somebody there that was actually there and this person just wasn't. Because I feel like they really disconnected. And that's not going to resonate for everyone. I left you before you could leave me. Yeah, there was a sense of someone leaving. And that's in this past life. In this current life, if you know this person and they're saying, I regret lying to you, finding out the truth crushed me, and I left you before you could leave me, they could have just walked away from you. Because they weren't trying to get hurt. Because there is this sense of pain being carried forth from this past life. I will wait from a sign from you. If you know them, they could be waiting from a sign from you. Take that as it resonates. Only send the sign if you really want to. But I think if you don't know them, this is them saying, their higher self saying, I'm ready to connect. I'm ready for this to come through again. But it's almost about the timing aligning. And for some of my pile 3s, you have to work through some issues of abandonment in this lifetime before this can come together. Because it feels like there have been some life experiences in this current lifetime that have kind of left you hurt and betrayed and rejected for some of you. For some of you, you've been celibate, single for a very long time in this current lifetime. Let's take a look at what's happening currently. 2 of Pentacles, trying to balance something here. 2 of Cups, okay. 2 and 2 so far, and Ace of Cups. For my pile number 3s, currently, what's happening in this current lifetime as we speak. With the 2 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, and Ace of Cups, some of you want a relationship, a connection. But there's also other things that you're juggling, other things that are keeping you busy, that's keeping this from happening, keeping this from coming together in some way. For some of you, you know there's a soulmate out there for you and you are ready to connect with them. But at the same time, you're keeping yourself so busy that it's hard for this to come in. You need to make space and hold space for this to come in. And for some of you, you've been working on your self-love, on filling your own cup. My pile number 3, you are ready for this to come in. It's about making space for it. If you know this person, This could have been a break that you took where you needed to kind of grow and take care of yourself and do some self-care on you. And you've done that. I do feel for my pile number 3s, out of all my piles, this is the pile where it's coming together the soonest, the fastest, and it's ready to come together. Let's take a look at what we have with these 3 cards. Because this feels like it's ready to come in. And this is about you, filling your cup first, and you've been doing that. But there's also kind of this energy of you're juggling too many things. So a need to prioritize, make space for what you really do want. And it's very interesting because if we take a look at this card, she's juggling 2 things, but love is calling. And I think for my pile number 3s, love is calling you. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Yeah, this past life was rough. And for some of you, I think this current lifetime has also been rough when it comes to love. And there's there's a blessing coming, and we do have 2 blessing cards that we're going to look at next. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. This is definitely twin flame. This is absolutely divine counterpart twin flame energy. You feel the connection, even if you don't know them, you feel them. For some of you, you read books. You read historical romances, and you know those books are about you, or they're relatable to you. It's almost like you can recall this past life. And you've had many others as well. This is the one that was the most recent one, but you've had others as well. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There is no point in trying to change that which is beyond our control. Yeah, there's a need to relinquish control here. Allow things to happen. For some of you, you're trying to control things because there's fear here. And accept where you are in the journey. Whether you know this person or not, accept exactly where you are, because when we accept where we are, we can create change. Let's take a look at the blessings that are coming in. A blessing of the waters, which is what is water? Emotion. A blessing on your emotions. For some of you, working with the element of water. A cleansing bath. Meditating near water if it's safe for you to do so. Having water, like a glass of water as you meditate, like if you meditate, wherever you meditate, have a glass of water. For some of you, putting a glass of water underneath your bed is coming in to get things flowing, or next to your bed. You can also call this person into your dreams, their higher self. A blessing on your love. For many of you, you identify as the divine feminine. The divine masculine is ready to come in. And remember, we all have masculine and feminine. It doesn't matter the gender. We all have it. So whichever one you identify as. But for many of you, you are waiting for the divine masculine. 1 + 7 is 8, and 8 is the number of manifestation. 4 is the number of stability. There's stability coming in. Hold space for this person to come in. And like this card says, spiritually, you are always united. You can connect to them. Some of you need to write letters to them. Some of you, through reading, I keep getting this for some of you, through reading is where you connect to this person. It's almost like you know your beloved is speaking to you. Write a letter to your beloved, pile number 3. And I do feel things are going to there's going to be a chance to transmute the energy from this past life. All right, pile number 3, that is all I have for you. Please let me know what you thought in the comments, and please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like the reading. Let me know what you'd like to see next on the channel. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, that information is in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now.